morning. How's everybody? Good. I get a little emotional just hearing that, and it's about me, right? So I see some familiar faces. It's such an honor to be here. This is my first live talk since 2019, and so thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to pick on this table. Is that okay with you guys? Sure. All right. Who can read my arm?
Trucks.
Say it louder for the people in the back. What?
Trucks.
Trucks. Now that's real. That's not. I didn't write that on there. Yes, I have one tattoo. It says trucks. I love trucks. Does anybody like trucks? I was at a monster truck rally last summer, 2 summers ago at former Myrtle Beach Speedway, and I realized I was the biggest fan there because no one had trucks on their arm. Today we're going to talk about focus and innovation in business as it pertains to you, and I want to tell you the story about trucks, why it's so important to me, why it matters so much that I tattooed it on my body. So as you heard, my son was diagnosed with cancer March 19th of 2019, so almost 2 years ago to the day. He was 4 years old at the time. Everything I'm going to tell you today is what he taught me, right? And we're going to start with trucks. So my sons were in Charleston, MUSC, early on. So we don't know what's going on, my wife and I. You can imagine, if you have kids, it is the darkest time of your life. So we're sitting there, my son's hooked up to all kinds of machines. And I say, Baxley, Dad wants to get a tattoo. And I don't know what to get, but I want to get a word. I want to remember this time. I want it to be really special. And I said, should I get faith? You know, we're a very faithful family. Should I get faith? Should I get survive? Should I get believe? What should I get? Bax looks up to me and he goes, He said, get trucks, Daddy. I like trucks. So I laughed and laughed, told my wife, told my sister-in-law, and laughed. A few weeks went by and I said, focus. Shift the focus. Trucks. Got to get trucks. Right? So I got trucks. So now every time I look down at my arm, instead of remembering struggle, instead of remembering dark, instead of remembering pain, instead of remembering believe because someone's doing bad, instead of that, I remember I like trucks. Shifting focus. That's what we're talking about today. That one little shift of getting what I want would have made no sense. It would have been a lifetime of looking down and remembering pain. Now I look down and I remember joy. I remember lesson. I remember this little shift of focus that played out for the rest of the 80 weeks that we were in treatment. And that energy fed to my son. People say, how does your son do it? I say, I have no idea. We just show up and smile. You ask him what he remembers. He doesn't remember 33 days of anesthesia and 33 days of proton radiation. He doesn't remember that. 33 days. It's almost 7 weeks of living in Florida. He doesn't remember that. What does he remember? They had some really big tricycles at that place. Right? He doesn't remember 10 days of radiation in Charleston. We rented a beach condo. We wanted to change the memory, shift the focus. We wanted him to remember something different. He doesn't remember 10 days of radiation. He remembers shark's teeth on the beach in January. You heard the stats of what we've been able to do with some of the people I work with and some of the organizations. I'm really proud of that. All of that came by shifting focus. All of it. Right? I was in real estate, obviously here in Myrtle Beach, worked with some fantastic people. Fantastic people. The day my son was diagnosed, it changed everything. We were going to be living away for 4 months, so I obviously, ethically, could not serve my clients in real estate. Right? I wasn't going to be here. So it didn't make sense. I couldn't move forward with contracts. I couldn't move forward with that business. So I had to create referral partners. Then I decide, we have a mortgage, just like everybody. We have car payments. We need food. What am I going to do? Shift focus. I know a lot about real estate. Cut my teeth in New York City. I took 2 shirts to work every day because I would sweat through one of them. My boss used to say, hey, I know when you've got a deal. I know when you're making money. Could you leave on the train? You come back in a taxi. And we did. We were filling out paper in the cab. So I know that. So I said, I shift my focus. What can I do? How am I going to make money for my family? How are we going to survive? I know, I'll help other people. One of the things I'm real proud of is, you heard the stat, 75 million in sales last year with people that I work with. Almost none of that was me, right? It was all people I work with. That's not what I'm proud of. That's not what I'm proud of. What I'm proud of is my client in Columbus, Ohio, gave $25,000 to veterans and first responders. I'm proud of that. Shift your focus. What I'm proud of is the mom who did 75,000 GCI last month for her family. She'd been 20 years in the business. I'm proud of that. changed their family's trajectory. They're in Florida right now on vacation. So we have to shift our focus in business. I'm going to tell you a story now of a lady that I met, a remarkable woman. Before COVID, I was speaking down in Miami. Her name is Susan Urschler. Has anyone ever heard of Susan Urschler? I don't suspect you have. Let me tell you her story, because she taught me a very big lesson that no doubt I would not have gotten through the last 2 years of my life without. So Susan Urschler, I'll just start at the beginning if that's all right. Right? She met a guy, and he was a mountaineering tour guide, so a rock climber, tough, rugged guy. She was not. So she met a guy and fell in love, and together they climbed the 7 highest mountains in the world. Now today we just have to swipe right. She had to climb 7 mountains. Right? She had to climb one of them twice. So I know Susan. I read her book, and I was standing in line at La Fontainebleau, checking into my room, and she's 2 people ahead of me, and I'm fanboying out a little bit. And I said, Ms. Urschler, pleasure to meet you. Really love your story. I'm looking forward to hear you speak at the event. She said, thank you. We just cordial and parted. And she was telling the story. She said the second time her and her husband were climbing Mount Everest. First time failed. If you don't know anything about climbing Mount Everest, it's not just you go on a Saturday and you're yay, and then you're back Sunday. Right? You have to acclimate for about 3 months. It cost about $100,000. So this is a big commitment. First time they climbed the mountain, they got to a certain point. It was her husband's eyes were freezing. It was, we can descend, or he's probably going to be blind for the rest of his life. So obviously, back down the mountain they come. Second time they go. They get to base camp 1, and she starts struggling. And Susan's telling this story, a really captivating story. She says, I'm not going to make it. She looks at her husband and says, I'm not going to make it. Second time climbing Mount Everest. I'm not going to make it. He said, hey, Susan, you don't have to climb Mount Everest today. You've got to get to base camp 2. Shifting focus. How many times in our business and our lives in this industry do we see the peak, but we don't see the mountain? We see the end goal, the income we want. We don't see who we help along the way. We don't see the impact we have. We don't see the focus that is required to get where we want to be. So by her shifting her focus, saying, I don't have to climb Mount Everest. I just have to get to base camp 2, and it's right there. I can see it. I know what it looks like. And 1 foot in front of the other. Let's go. Guess what happened? They climbed Mount Everest. Shifting focus. I want to leave you with 4 things today. These are 4 things that I've learned. I've implemented in my own business. I've implemented in other businesses across the country. And I hope you'll take value from these as leaders in our community. One of the things that I'm really passionate about is let's do better. One of the things I'm really passionate about is let's do better for other people. Right? My nonprofit, Hug Your People, man, it's amazing. My son named it, so I'm not lying. Everything I'm telling you, a 4-year-old taught me, so keep that in mind. Right? But I want to leave you with 4 things that really, I believe, can impact the way we run our business. Everyone has changed their focus over the last year. That's no secret. That's no lie. And we'll continue. We will continue. Right? And so I want to leave you with 4 things. I hope you find value in them, and then I'm happy to entertain questions if there's time. The first thing I want to leave you with in your business, everyone in here, in your business, I need you to understand one thing, if you take nothing else, is that everything works. We spend so much time and energy looking on Facebook, looking on Instagram, trying to find what works. Let me tell you, everything works. Has anyone made money on email campaigns? Has anyone made money on Facebook ads? Has anyone made money in postcards? Wrapping your car? Anybody? No? Cold calling. Anybody make money in cold calling other than me? I used to sit in a room for 4 hours a day doing that. Right? So everything works. So stop looking for what works. We have to find what works for you. We have to find what works for you. That frees up all the energy because you do it your way, the way that impacts your people, the way that serves your clients, that serves your business. Right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, we talk about innovation a lot. And innovation is something that's required, especially in business, something the real estate industry really needs right now. And will have, whether we're part of it or not. I would like us to be an active part of it. So what we have to understand about innovation. Innovation is solving other people's problems, not our own. Innovation is solving other people's problems, not our own. When you look at your business, it's not about what is your problem. That doesn't create innovation, that doesn't create impact, that doesn't create change. What does? Solve someone else's. What are the problems of my clients? What would they really need? What would they be so stoked to see? Do that, right? We're going to say a bad word right now. Zillow. There, we said it. Everybody relax. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. 2 years ago tomorrow, my last article for Inman News was published. And I was reminded of it last night. And the title of that article was something to the effect of why big tech is not the Zillow killer. You can search my name, Inman, and it'll come up. And you can read the article there if you're subscribed to that. But that was my last article that I wrote. 8 days later, my son was airlifted with total kidney failure and a tumor the size of a grapefruit. So last night, I'm looking through all these comments that were left there that I didn't get the chance to respond to because my focus was somewhere else. So when we talk about innovation solving other problems and people talk about Zillow, I have a love-hate with Zillow, just like most of us probably do on some level. But we can learn from them. What did they do well? They solved someone's problem. Information. They made it accessible. They made it free. And then there's a lot of other stuff, as we all know. Right? So take that cue. Innovation happens when you solve other people's problems. Number 3, this has to do with leadership. When I speak to people, we talk about leadership, and a lot of people, I see this room is full of leaders. Right? I know some of you, and so I know you're a leader, and I know you're good leaders. So what we want to do is say, well, how can we take leadership to the next level? Through quarantine, through the pandemic, I worked a lot with companies who were trying to figure out how to lead from home, basically. I worked with restaurants. I worked with Fortune 500 companies. I worked with small CEOs. One of my clients out of Chapel Hill, everything went home. How do we lead a team? How do we manage $18 million in sales when no one's here? Right? Leadership is not about control. Leadership is about empowering. When you empower your team, you're a leader. Right? When you empower the people around you, you're a leader. Leadership is not about control. And a lot of people are approaching business as, I want to control what's going on. That's why you're mad at Zillow. Let's empower each other. Let's empower the people that work with us, for us, and let's just go into the world and give each other what we've got, right? That's leadership. That's leadership that affects innovation. Fair enough? Lastly, I'm going to tell you how to increase your business. Anybody interested? No? Come on. Come on, you guys. Nobody wants more money? Yes. All right. Let me tell you about increasing your business. Everyone here probably uses social media in their business in some way. They probably do, right? If you don't, you probably should start. Right, Chris? So let me tell you how to grow your business. We talk about sales a lot. I do a lot of sales training. Sales happens when beliefs collide. You and I believe the same thing. You're probably going to buy what I'm selling on some level, or you're going to be a fan of it. Growing your business is about what you stand for, not what you stand against. Growing your business is about what you stand for, not what you stand against. It's really easy to complain about the way things are, to complain about the way things were. It's easy to say, I want to go back to the way things were, and that would be the biggest missed opportunity you could have. We have to look at our business and say, what do we stand for as a company, as a leader, as an organization? What do we stand for? What are our principles in business? What are our core values? What are our immutable laws? We just will not bend. One of my immutable laws in business is no victims. No victims. This is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And if you seize the opportunity, innovation happens. If you become the leader you know you could be, your company grows to where it could be. Right? So we have to really look at these things from a different perspective. My perspective shifted for obvious reasons. I stopped caring about a lot of nonsense, about likes, about follows. I stopped caring about that. What do I care about? I care about people. Shifting focus. I don't care about my process. I care about people. So when you take each of your businesses and you say, what is it that I can focus on that I didn't focus on yesterday? And you make that about people, you win. You don't win tomorrow, but you win. So as we go through the world and we go through this business and we look at what's happening in our business, it is that little shift of focus. And if you stop focusing on survive and you start focusing on trucks, we win. Thank you very much.